Hi, we meet again. So let's learn English with Mr. Lima. Today we are going to learn about simple sentences. For this topic, we are going to learn about firstly subjects and verbs, secondly simple sentences, compound subject, compound verb, compound subject and compound verb practice. Introduction. Before we start with this topic, we need to know why do we need to learn about sentences. As we all know, to be able to write well in English, one of the important things that we need to know is the understanding on how to build a sentence. Of course, we are encouraged to write in various sentence structures to make our writing more informative and interesting to read. In English, there are many types of sentence structure. The first one is simple sentence. Secondly, compound sentence. Thirdly, complex sentence. And fourthly, compound complex sentence. For this session, we are going to learn about simple sentence, the most basic type of sentence structure. Subjects and verbs. Before we start with this topic, simple sentence, we need to do a quick revision on subjects and verbs. Firstly, before we start with this topic, we need to know about subject and verb. In every complete sentence, there will be at least one subject and one verb. Now, what are subjects? A subject is usually a noun. For example, a person, animal, thing or object, or place. A subject also tells us who or what. For example, about person, who. The examples are boy, man, doctor, fisherman, Alan. For animal, or what. The examples are cat, tiger, bird. For a thing or object, that tells us about what. So the examples are pencil, bag, food. For place or what, we can see the examples such as school, house, shopping mall. A subject can also be a pronoun. For example, I, you, he, she, we, they, it. For example, I drink orange juice. I is a pronoun. The next example is they run to school. They is a pronoun. Alright, now, what are verbs? A verb shows action or state of being. Some examples for action, such as run, play, drink, sleep. And examples for state of being are am, is, are, was, were, will be. A verb tells us about the action or the state of being of the subject. Subjects and verbs. A verb tells us about the action of the subject. For example, in this picture, what does Alan do? Alan sleeps. Alan is the subject and sleeps is the verb. A verb tells us about the state of being of the subject. For example, who is Razia? Razia is a nurse. So Razia here is a subject and is a verb. What is a simple sentence? A simple sentence has only one independent clause. An independent clause is made up of a subject and a verb. For example, one subject and one verb. The subject here is Amir and the verb is walks. So the sentence is Amir walks. An independent clause can stand alone on its own as a complete thought. It is considered as a complete sentence. For another example of one subject and one verb, the subject here is she and the verb here is swims. So the simple sentence here is she swims. The sentence here at least has one subject and one verb. Compound subject. We may also add more than one subject in a simple sentence. So when there is more than one subject used as a subject, it is called as a compound subject. For example, if there are two subjects and one verb. So there are two subjects here, Rose and her dog, and they are doing the same thing. They run. So the sentence here, Rose and her dog run. Here is another example for compound subject. For example, for two subjects and one verb. The subjects here are Joe and Mary, and they play. So the sentence here is Joe and Mary play. There are two subjects here, Joe and Mary. The two subjects are joined together using a conjunction such as and or. Compound verb. We may also add more than one verb in a simple sentence. When there is more than one verb used as a verb, it is called as a compound verb. The subject is the same, but he or she does the action of two verbs. Let us look at the first example. The subject here is Umar, and he is doing two verbs here, which are runs and climbs. So the sentence here, Umar runs and climbs. The subject, who is Umar, is the same, but he does the action of two verbs, which are runs and climbs. Here is another example. For one subject, it is a deer, and it's doing two verbs here, which are sits and rests. So the simple sentence here is the deer sits and rests. So the subject, which is the deer, is the same, but it does the action of two verbs, which are sits and rest. Compound subject and compound verb. We may also use a compound subject and a compound verb in a simple sentence. For example, the subjects here are Susan and Alex. They sing and dance. So the simple sentence here is Susan and Alex sing and dance. In that sentence, Susan and Alex are two subjects, so they are considered as a compound subject, whereas sing and dance are two verbs, and they are also regarded as compound verb. Here is another example for compound subject and compound verb. So in this picture, there are Peter and his friends, and they sit and read. So the sentence here is Peter and his friends sit and read. Peter and his friends are more than one subject, so there is a compound subject here, whereas sit and read are two verbs, so they are called as compound verb. Let us look at the sentence. Peter and his friends sit and read. So Peter and his friends are more than one subject, so it is considered or regarded as compound subject. Sit and read are two verbs, so these two verbs regarded as compound verb. So we can see that the compound subjects, who are Peter and his friends, do the same action of the compound verb, which are sit and read. Let's practice. Match the words to the correct answer. Question number 1. The toddler cries. Which one is the verb and which one is the subject? The toddler. What is it? Is it a verb or is it a subject? Yes, correct. It is the subject. And cries is the verb. Number 2. The babies cry. Both babies cry. So, which one is the compound subject and which one is the verb? Is it the babies or cry? Yes, that is correct. The babies is a compound subject and cry is the verb. That is all for now, so thank you for joining me today. I just want to tell you that you are essential, you are important, so please take care and be safe wherever you are.